The air was thick with silence, broken only by the distant echoes of a world long lost. In a dilapidated radio station, surrounded by crumbling buildings and overgrown weeds, the flickering lights illuminated a lone figure hunched over a microphone. Emma, a former DJ, was the last person left in the city, and she had one mission: to send out a final broadcast. For months, she had been living in a nightmare. The outbreak had started as a whisper, news reports of strange, violent behaviors in the city. Then, like a wildfire, it consumed everything. Neighbors turned on neighbors, families turned on each other, and soon the streets were filled with the undead. They were the remnants of humanity, twisted and grotesque, driven by an insatiable hunger. Emma had barricaded herself inside the station, surrounded by supplies scavenged from the city. She'd been alone for weeks, with only the hum of machinery and the occasional rustle outside to keep her company. The isolation was suffocating, but she needed to reach anyone left alive. Testing, testing, she spoke into the microphone, her voice trembling slightly. This is Emma from WZMB Radio. If anyone is out there, please respond. We are not alone in this fight. She took a deep breath, the weight of her words pressing down on her. As she finished her broadcast, the static crackled ominously. Emma leaned back in her chair, heart racing, waiting for a response. Minutes felt like hours, and just as despair began to creep in, she heard it, a faint crackling, a voice breaking through the static. Emma, is that you? The voice was weak, but unmistakably human. Yes. Yes. I'm here, she shouted, tears of relief streaming down her face. Who is this? Where are you? It's Mark. I'm in the old mall, just north of you. We're safe for now, but we need help. They're everywhere. Emma's heart sank at the mention of they. She remembered the first time she had seen them. How many are with you? She asked, her mind racing. 7 of us. We're running low on food and supplies. We heard your broadcast, thought you could help. A surge of determination filled Emma. I'll come. I'll bring food and medicine. Just hold tight. Be careful, Emma. They're out there. They're always out there. As she gathered her supplies, Emma could hear the faint moans of the undead outside. She peered through the cracked window and saw shadows moving in the dim light. With a deep breath, she slipped on her backpack and made her way to the back exit of the station. The air was heavy with dread, but she couldn't turn back now. The streets were a graveyard, littered with debris and the remnants of a forgotten world. Emma moved swiftly, her heart pounding as she navigated the alleys, avoiding the main roads where the undead roamed freely. The old mall loomed in the distance, a beacon of hope amidst the horror. As she approached, the shadows grew darker, and the moans grew louder. She could feel the presence of the undead lurking just beyond her sight. She ducked behind a car, peering out cautiously. A small group of zombies shuffled aimlessly, their rotting bodies swaying as they searched for their next meal. Keep it together, she whispered to herself. You can do this. Emma took a deep breath and sprinted toward the mall, her heart racing as she dashed past the zombies. They turned, drawn by the sound, but she was too fast. She reached the entrance and slipped inside, slamming the door behind her. The mall was a labyrinth of shadows and silence, but Emma could hear muffled voices coming from deeper within. She followed the sound, adrenaline fueling her every step. Finally, she stumbled upon a small group huddled together in a corner, their faces a mix of relief and fear. Emma, Mark exclaimed, rushing to her. You made it. I brought supplies, she said, her voice shaky. But we need to move quickly. They're outside.